Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K is the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props, or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche And after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network and our On Campus Friday segment that we do weekly back in the States and all over in North America after a week in Belfast and Dublin where we celebrated college hockey over there, Pierre, and had a great time at the Friendship Four. Looking forward to being back there in a few weeks for the Women's Friendship Series. But we are here now, Pierre. We've got a great guest coming on.
Well, first of all, it's one of my most enjoyable places to go for hockey. Grand Forks, North Dakota. Dane Jackson has been a long-time coach there, not just a head coach, but also an associate coach and an assistant coach. But he's a legendary player there, too. When he was just breaking into the National Hockey League with Vancouver, I was coaching the Hartford Whalers. And I actually watched him and his old teammate Dixon Ward win the Calder Cup with the Rochester Americans many moons ago. Okay. So I'm really pumped to talk to Coach Jackson and see how his first year as a head coach is going there, because I know the record is outstanding. It's really
you know what? He's going to be able to join us in Belfast in 2 years in 2027.
He will, I know. It's
with his team. So let's bring him on right now. North Dakota head coach Dane Jackson joining us here on the Eye Test. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Great. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, you're excited about where you'll be. I know you have to live in the moment as a hockey coach, but we just got back from the Friendship Four. It's an amazing experience. How excited are you to be part of that?
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome experience. Like you say, I've heard lots of great things from the guys that have gone over, and we'll look forward to competing in that. And it's always interesting to see how many UND fans. They travel pretty darn good, so we'll see how we'll really put them to the test, see if they come across the big pond.
Jimmy, just so we can build off Coach's point, when I was working in Ottawa, I went down and watched Dakota play against Penn State down in Nashville. It would have been the perfect time to be a burglar in Grand Forks or any part of the state, because there was probably 18,000 people there and 16,000 came from the state of North Dakota. It was unbelievable, right, Coach? That was amazing.
Yeah, our fans are passionate. You know, we fill up the Ralph with about 12,000 every night here. But, when we played those games in Madison Square Garden and T-Mobile in Vegas and down in Nashville, our fans travel. They're looking for any reason to get out of North Dakota in the winter, especially if it's somewhere warm.
Coach, just we'll stay on this for a second, too, just so some people that aren't familiar with the fan base and the passion there. What is it like coaching there at North Dakota in the community? You know, you go out to eat or you go here and there, and everybody is – from what I'm told from Pierre, everybody's always focused on your team.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion. That's we kind of say pressure is a privilege. You know, when you win, you got 12,000 people pretty fired up for you, and when you don't, they're not too many. You got your back. We got our 27 guys on our staff in our locker room that got to pull together and find a way to fix things. But it's part of what makes it great at North Dakota. You know, it's we have no pro teams in the whole state, so our team's obviously pretty fortunate to get the exposure and the support that we have. So we got a bit of that Green Bay Packer mentality where we're kind of fun to be a big fish in a small pond, and we take a lot of pride in showing up and working every day and trying to earn the great things that we get to receive and get to play in this awesome building.
One of the most awesome things about it is the distinguished alumni from your school. How much do you utilize them to help you recruit right now, Coach?
Yeah, well, technically, we're not allowed to have them recruit too much for us. Sometimes you get a bump here and there, but like you say, we are. I've been here 20 years, so I was fortunate enough to get to coach. Osh and Taves and Brock Nelson and Best and Schmaltzy and Jake Sanderson and Pinto, and we've had a ton of good ones. And the cool thing, Pierre, is that they're good people. You know, we have no guys that are big ballers. They're just all connected to our program. They're texting you and calling when you have good wins, and if things aren't going well, they got your back and stuff. So we're super fortunate to have all the guys that have came before us that support our program.
Coach, this season you got a lot of young players coming in, 10 freshmen there, but they're all seem to be fitting in just very nicely. Like, what's been the key for them to adapt to the college game?
Yeah, we always say that, you don't ever want to kind of try to count on freshmen too much. You're always excited about your new guys coming in, but it's such a jump. And, but we've had to count on our first year guys. We have 15 new players and like you say, 10, 11 freshmen here. So they're just, I don't know. There's really good players. Like the CHL opening up has been a huge thing for us, with, Reshny and Verhoeff and, some of those guys have come in. Ollie Josephson been really good for us, the Kresge. So, the Western League's a good league, and those guys have had a lot of games of experience, and they came in and they've been able to play, big roles for us right away. So I just think it just seems like in this day and age, the young guys coming in, I think just like we see in the NHL, they're such good players. They're, they got a kind of good pro mindset where they're taking care of their business and they're on time and they're sharp and detailed guys, and they've been kind of ready for the pressures and challenges of it right away.
Inquiring minds want to know what's in the water in Victoria, BC, that you get Reshny and you get Verhoeff out of there.
Well, I guess we always kind of start with trying to find good people, guys that are sharp guys. And, I was out in Macklin, Saskatchewan to kind of meet with the Reshny family, and you just say, God, this kid's a hell of a player, but they're just good people. And same with Verhoeff, being up in Fort Saskatchewan and just kind of talking with their family. They just kind of, I think they kind of resonate with, maybe our smaller town and where we coach at and where we play at. And so you kind of start there. You try to find good character guys that want to buy in and be part of a program. Obviously, we know they're coming to UND for a big part of it is the pro development because of the good, guys that we've had that have come through here before. All of our staff has kind of played and coached in the American League and the NHL. So we take a lot of pride in trying to help guys be ready for the challenges of the pro, and hopefully that kind of resonates to try to get the next guys.
Hey, Jimmy, before you go a step further, I'm going to touch on some of those guys that got working for him. One of them is Matt Smaby, who maybe was there on one of the best prep school teams ever at Shattuck St. Mary's. If you go look at the laundry list of players that were there, starting with Zach Parisi and Drew Stafford, North Dakota guys, as coach knows, pretty amazing. And Matt was drafted by Tampa and had a real solid career. And then Dylan Simpson. I remember watching Dylan play for Cleveland in the American Hockey League, coach, for years and years and years. So you're spot on. And I love the fact, I was going to ask you about this. I'm glad you brought it up. I love the fact that you're not afraid to dig into that pro pool. I know they're North Dakota alums, but I love that because if I were back coaching college, that's one of the things I would definitely include is making sure I had pro guys on my staff.
Yeah, we're super fortunate. Those guys are just sharp guys that have played a lot of pro, and they're not just like kind of nice guys. Like they're really sharp. Like Matt's maybe could be, he will be a head coach in college hockey soon. Dylan's still a young guy, but I'm sure he'll ascend to that. And I totally agree. The fact that you've kind of gone through the battles of the American League and a bit in the NHL, and you kind of know what it takes at the highest level is a big deal to try to pass on to our guys. One of the other things we're kind of proud of here at UND is the fact that I think we're the only college in the United States that has all their staff is alumni. Bryn Chiswick is we call him our GM. He does a lot of our recruiting. He played in our 2016 national championship team. So the fact that we got guys that have all kind of been through the battles, the hard times that you have here when things aren't going great, but also celebrating the great times we've had, it makes a big deal. And kind of talking about all those pros we had, one of the things we did when our staff took over, we had a big pro week, kind of the last week of August, and we had about 20 of our pro guys back to come and skate with our new guys. We talk about how important our culture is, and we think our best ambassadors of that are the guys that have come through here. So to have Besser and Schmaltz and a bunch of these guys back kind of talking about their experience, about how much they learned and how much they grew here and how much they enjoyed their time there, and kind of passing that on to our current guys, that was a big deal to kind of try to set the culture about what we're all about here.
Jimmy, that is so cool that coach has brought that up. And if he doesn't get success with all that stuff, he can always go to the mayor, Brandon Bochensky, who's an alum. Okay, you can always go to Brandon and say, "Hey, Mr. Mayor, we need a little help here."
You're a hockey town when one of your former hockey players is the mayor, right? So
it's unbelievable.
Bo does a great job. He's a sharp guy. He does a good job. He's got good policy. He's got a bit of Donald Trump in him. He's not worried about pissing anybody off.
Coach Keaton Verhoeff obviously gets a lot of attention, and a lot of people now have him ahead of Gavin McKenna in the rankings. What have you seen in terms of his game grow since he arrived?
Yeah, good question. I think the big thing we've seen with Keaton is kind of his kind of figuring out what he can do and what he can't do. He's made a good he's a super athletic guy, and he's a smart guy, and he's big and great kid and everything. But the biggest thing on that point is he was, I think, a little bit early. He was before he was able to kind of play with a body on him and still just make plays where, when he's going against bigger, stronger guys, you got to get that puck and move it and kind of make it the first option instead of trying to beat guys individually, kind of talking about just moving pucks and joining, kind of playing a little bit more of that pro style. So he's made a nice adjustment of being a little bit cleaner and quicker and simpler with his puck touches and just allowing his good hockey sense and ability to make plays from there and not trying to just do it himself at times.
You guys have a pretty good following with the Ottawa Senators, Coach. With Pinto and Sanderson and obviously Clevin.
Yep.
Has Sanderson surprised you at all? Because I spent a lot, as you know, I know I spent a lot of time out there.
Yeah.
He hasn't surprised me, but has he surprised you a little bit or no?
Yeah, he was the best defenseman I ever got to coach in North Dakota in 20 years. So, he was just special with his maturity. And then also, with his just professionalism. He was a guy that was kind of Johnny Taves, like where he was going to bed at 9:30 at night so he could be the first one at the rink at 6 a.m. because he wanted to eat his breakfast a little bit earlier and not so close to practice and stuff. And just the meticulous way that he approached the game. So he had that pro mindset and he had that really mature game. Like I remember going to watch him play U16 and he could have taken the puck every time and probably gone end to end, but he would just get it, move it and join, So you're watching this kid and you're just going, like he plays like a pro right now. And so I don't think I'm that surprised that he's just such a complete person and player that, again, I know how hard the NHL was. I couldn't really play there, but
well, that's not true. That's not true.
The fact that Jake doing what he's doing is pretty awesome, but it's fun. My good friend of mine, Travis Green, who I grew up with, coaches him every day. And he said, sometimes I got to just bring him in and talk to him just because I don't ever talk to him because I just leave him alone. But once in a while, I just say, hey, I'm not talking to you just because I don't want to mess you up. So just keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm not taking that from Coach either. He played in plenty of games in the National Hockey League, and he's a Calder Cup champion, and he knows, trust me, he was more than a good player. He was a third-round pick of Vancouver. And when Vancouver was picking in the third round in those days, guys like Ronnie Delorme and Brian Burke and the late Pat Quinn were running Vancouver. They weren't taking soft guys. I'm just telling you. So, Coach, I'm backing you up on that. I'm going to back you off and back you up.
Okay, thanks.
Coach, we have a lot of Bruins fans that watch our show here, and one of them, he's a regular in our chat room here, Ethan Russell. He wanted me to ask you about Will Zellers and what you think of him so far and just his game. Obviously he can score. We know that, but what else are you liking that he does?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up. He just won our NCHC Rookie of the Month. What a player Will Zellers is. He's got a long legacy here. His dad played football here and his grandparents went here. When you get those legacy kids that have so much care for the program, that's a great place to start. But, we knew Will could score, like you say, scoring 44 in Green Bay last year. Not easy to score there. We had some concerns a little bit about his two-way game. And, God, has he bought in? He's competitive. He wins a lot of puck battles. He checks to score. Like, he doesn't just wait for pucks to come to him. He's hustling to get pucks. And when he's got it, he's got a special knack to shoot it in the net. He's got a really quick release. He can one-time pucks, but he's fearless. He goes to the net. He's got a little bit of Jackson Blake in him for me. He just he attacks at guys. He gets inside. He wins battles by the net. He's a tenacious. He's a little undersized, obviously, for the National Hockey League. But, those guys that are small, they got to have a special tenacity to want to score, and he has it. So we couldn't be more excited. He's been borderline our best player this year. Boston's got a good one there, boy. I think this kid's gonna find a way to play just because of his will to score and his willingness to kind of adapt his game. He's really come a long way as far as kind of working on his two-way game and his 200-foot battle.
I know how hard you guys had to beat the bushes back in the day because of the way the rules were with recruiting. Now it's changed a little bit, and you probably have a bit of an advantage, not a huge advantage. How much is the USHL situation maybe affecting some of your decision-making when it goes to recruiting?
Yeah, well, the USHL was always kind of top of the heap for us, so we would take the vast majority of our guys from there. We've always kind of built our program on some good Western Canadian players as well. And like you say, with the CHL opening up, we're still taking players from the USHL, but we're definitely looking hard in the, mainly the Western League because there is just good players out there. Guys are coming in if they play kind of 16, 17, 18-year-old year, they're coming in with 200 games under their belt in a good league. And those guys have all shown in our first year that they've been able to come in and be impactful players right away. So we'll continue to watch the USHL a lot, but we'll also do a lot of work up in the Western League. And it's greatly expanded our pool. But like you say, with our proximity to Western Canada, we think we should do a really good job there and be able to get a lot of top players.
Hey, Jimmy, I just want you to know this. Back in the day, I was at St. Lawrence, and Dean Blaze was doing the same job as me at Dakota. And so I'd always see him like in North Battleford, or I'd see him in Wilcox, Saskatchewan, or I'd see him in Winnipeg. I'd be like, hey, man, could you leave me alone? Like, we were the only 2 guys out there. And it was just like crazy. And we took some players, but they got, in those days, Dakota owned the Prairie. They just owned the Prairie. Maybe Denver coach had a little bit of success, but you guys owned the Prairie. You really did.
Yeah, I know back then Michigan State was really good too, and I know those guys were out battling around there too. But yeah, I always respect that, the amount of work that the recruiters do. It's you got to get out. The answers are in the rinks. You got to get out and see the games. You got to talk to the trainers and kind of get a feel for the guys, because you can watch video, but it's different to be there and see kids' body language and learn about what they really like as people.
And that's why Dakota wins to me. That's why they put a pretty time thing on eye test, a big time thing on eye test, and that's why they win. I'm telling you. Coach,
I want to talk about your goalie there. And I apologize if I pronounced the name wrong. Spooner.
Yeah.
He's really come on, huh? 6-0.
Yeah, what a start he's had. Jan played a couple years in the Western League in Portland, and then played last year in Dubuque. He was always a good solid goalie. We saw him being kind of technically sound and kind of making the saves that he should, and but not being like super flamboyant or athletic. But he's come in, and he didn't get to play as many games early as our other guy. But whenever he went in, he was just giving us a solid performance, and then with a couple really good saves on top. And he's got over a 930. He's 6-0, and he's been outstanding for us. So we couldn't be more excited about how well he's adapted and come in and played big time minutes for us.
You talked about the Ralph before when we first came on. I've been there a lot, obviously, in my career. And what's it like to walk in there as the head coach of North Dakota on a big game day?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's interesting you asked me that. I whether I was associate coach or head coach, I don't sleep at night when I was associate coach if I didn't think we were playing well or not recruiting well or something. So we all give everything we got. So whether you're head or associate, I don't know. I don't have a huge difference. Obviously, you got to make, as the head man, you got to make the tough calls on who you're taking on your lineup changes and your final call on recruiting. But as far as being invested, all of our guys, I think, have the same kind of buy-in where you're putting in your, whatever it is, 60, 70 hours a week and doing whatever it takes to try to build your team and give everything you got, and so we're, whatever spot I'm in, I tell you what, we take a great amount of pride to be prepared and work and have our guys ready to go on those Friday and Saturday nights.
Great stuff there, Coach. Well, listen, we appreciate you.
One more. Don't let him go. I got to go internal with him. I got to go because, I go there a lot. And I don't know if Coach knows this, but my family's from Manville, North Dakota, about 15 miles north of the city.
No way.
North Dakota in his blood.
You didn't know that. And the other thing you didn't know is I would say, well, my great-grandfather, my great-grandmother, and my 2 aunts are all buried in Cavalry Cemetery right across the street from the rink. So, wow. I know it really well. So this is my final skill testing question for you.
Okay.
Harvey's or Harry's or Skies? Harry's or Skies for eating?
Yeah, they treat us great, but I probably got to go for to Harry's. They're
that's my boy.
Their old fashioned there is pretty elite. So
I like it. I'm an old fashioned.
Hey, Sanderson and Clevin had a lot of meals over there on the arm of the Ottawa Senators. I'll tell you that. Harry's.
I'll tell you what, Pierre. I got one good story about Manville. We when Matt Green won one of his Stanley Cups there in LA, he brought it back to. We picked him up in the airport. I think it was Brad Berry and Dave Haxtell and myself, and we went out and grabbed him. And And we grabbed him, and he said, "Hey, we're going to head into town." He's like, "We got to stop in Manville." He used to, one of his teammates would always take him out there because their family was from there, and so we stopped in the afternoon on a Thursday, and we roll in there, and there's two old gentlemen that were just watching them golf, and Greeny rolls in with the Stanley Cup, and they kind of look back and just kind of right back to their golf and their beer. But there was 4 guys that had just done playing a game of golf out there. And they said, "That's a real Stanley Cup." And Greeny's like, "Yeah, get over here. Let's put some Busch Light in it," and had some beers out there with those guys. And within about, I think, 20 minutes, the place was packed. Everybody wanted to get the cup and beer.
That is such a good story. That is such a good story.
Good story in Manville in the Legion there.
That's awesome.
Jimmy, I took my dad to the World Junior in 05 because I was working there, and we landed in Winnipeg, and we rented a car, and we were driving down to Dakota. It's a straight shot, as Coach could tell you. There's no turns in the road. And you just go straight down. And he said, "Pull over here." I go, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "This is the middle of nowhere." He said, "Pull over here." So we pull over, and he says, "That's where I grew up." He points at this house in the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was like, "Oh, okay. Good to know."
I love it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, Pierre's been telling me I got to get out there, so it's on my bucket list. We're going to make it there soon, I hope, Coach. And again, we'll see you in Ireland in 2 years for sure.
All right, man. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks a lot. Take care, Dane. Thank you.
All right. North Dakota head coach Dane Jackson joining us here on Campus Friday on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network, Pierre. And I can't wait to experience a game out there and just the environment, and to go to some of these staple restaurants that you can.
Yeah, you know what? The people are so wholesome. Their passion for hockey is huge. You look at the alumni list of North Dakota. It would blow you away, really. And it's not just NHL guys.
Yeah.
It's guys that have coached for a long time. It's guys that have played in the American League for a long time. Like, long time. I'm talking 400 and 500 and 600 games in the American League. That's a lot of hockey. Guys have gone over to Europe and done unbelievably good things. There's a real good player for Belfast right now who's a North Dakota alum. You can go down, there's so many everywhere. The building is crazy, Jimmy. It's unbelievable. It's so beautiful.
Pierre, I remember you telling me even before the CHL agreement occurred, just how much North Dakota would be able to dip into Canada in recruiting. You guys touched on that there. And, you talk about the proximity there and how they already had sort of a built-in name with people in Canada. How much do you think that's helping them right now since the CHL agreement happened?
Huge. So, Cole Resney was a first-round pick, I think 17th or 18th overall by Calgary. Keaton Verhoeff's going to go first or second in the draft this summer.
Yep.
That just, when you start getting that kind of stuff, and then you see Jonathan Tage playing in Winnipeg, you can go down the line, look at all the Dakota guys that are sprinkled around the league. Right. He talked about Matt Green. Matt Green works with the LA Kings. He does an unbelievable job for them in development. I can go down the line all these different, Jordan Smaltz, who has an unbelievably successful podcast. He's a Dakota guy. His brother's playing, Nick Smaltz playing for Utah. You go around, there's so many of them everywhere. People forget Eddie Belfour was a North Dakota guy. So all these, it starts to build,
They have a foundation.
Yeah. It never ends.
Yeah.
And part of why it never ends is because a Friday or Saturday night at the Ralph, as they call it, there are not a lot of things like that in college sports. It's pretty amazing. It really
it's funny when you guys are talking about it and you've shared. I haven't had that experience yet, but I can see how magical it is when both of you were just discussing it. It reminds me a bit of Notre Dame. It's just that tradition on a football Saturday at Notre Dame or something at Michigan.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
No, that's not a reach either. That's exactly what it's like. And, Dane's selling himself short. He was a really useful player for a long time. And he was a tough kid, I'll tell you that. He was a tough kid. And they've, one of the coolest guys I ever coached is a Dakota guy, is James Patrick. I had James in Hartford, and James was so good for us. And, we had Pronger, we had McCrimmon, we had Adam Burt. We had a lot of guys on defense that were pretty useful. That was really the strength of our team because we weren't deep enough when it came to offense. But James was fantastic for us. I couldn't say enough good things about James and what he did for our program. And he's a Dakota guy.
Good stuff. Well, I look forward to getting out there, and good luck to them this weekend against St. Cloud State. Pierre, as I was just perusing USCHO and looking at different stories around there. There's a great story on the Friendship 4, by the way. I'm looking at the new NPI ratings there, and I don't know, maybe I'm reading it wrong, Pierre, but it doesn't seem to parallel the poll as much as the old ratings that they used. Have you noticed that? Am I seeing that wrong?
No, you're seeing it right. I'm feeling the same way as you. Now, maybe there's an adjustment that we all have to make to decipher the intel.
Yeah.
But I
want to learn more about this because I'm like, there's some drastic differences about where teams are in the poll versus the NPI, and I'm trying to figure out, and I'll learn more about it. We'll have to figure that out. But
I think one of the things we need to just give it some time to kind of sort itself out too. The race for college hockey, I know everybody's excited to get started, but now the race has started.
Oh yeah.
So I'll give you an example. This weekend, Michigan State's playing.
We're going to touch on that segue.
Can't mess around. Like, that's big time. Like, Minnesota Duluth is playing Western Michigan this weekend. That's big time. Cornell's at Clarkson this weekend. That's a big game in the ECAC.
Yep.
Yale is at Harvard this weekend.
Yep.
That's a big game in the ECAC. Like, so now all of a sudden the race starts.
Yeah.
The race starts. All the other stuff was important, but now it starts.
Yeah, we're going to start to get into that. I'm looking forward and excited about that. And by the way, good segue there. Let's get to our sponsors, because I will bring up in the Betway the Michigan State, because they have to be involved in my picks this weekend. But before we do that, let's talk about our wonderful sponsors, Vago Italian, where they combine old world classics and new Italian dishes for over 23 years. By the way, Billy Guerin said he was going to try and get down there, as we suggested to him. He was very excited. If he said, I'm pretty busy, but I'm going to try and make it down.
He broke some news yesterday.
Yes, we did. How about that? Very excited. And by the way, Cole Caulfield must have been watching, because he got the shootout winner there.
I had a great assist too on a power play goal by Slavkovsky, and Lane Hudson was at another level last night. Lane Hudson was at another level.
There we go. All right. So they combine old world classics, new Italian dishes for over 23 years. That's right. 23 years and still going is Vago Italian. They've got private dining rooms for any occasion. They're open Monday to Saturday evenings and lunch from Tuesday to Friday. They're located at 1336 Green Avenue in Westmount. For reservations, call 514-846-1414. Again, 514-846-1414. All right, and also our great sponsors, Betway, where you can still go all the way with Betway and bet those beauties right now. And if you're not a member, you got a great deal waiting for you. Go to that QR code right in front of you if you're watching. If not, when you're able, go to the website, go to the members section, fill out your details there to create your new membership, and you will get up to $300 back on your first deposit. That's right. Even if you lose your first bet, you've got free credit waiting for you. So go there right now, sign up. You must be 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. Always bet responsibly, and the offer is not available in Ontario. These are my picks. We're going to go college, as we always do on Campus Friday. And Pierre mentioned both games that I'm looking at. Minnesota Duluth is at Western Michigan. They are plus 154 underdogs. They have crept up the standings, at least in the poll-wise. They are number 4 as I speak right now, as we record this. I like Minnesota Duluth to go into Western Michigan and pull off the upset there, Pierre. You might think I'm nuts, but I'm going to go with them. Just a gut feeling. And then we'll look at Michigan State hosting Michigan. They are minus 130 favorites in a big one, number 1 versus number 3. Give me Michigan State as the favorite at minus 130. Pierre, are those crazy picks or no?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, it's kind of got a good tie-in, because Scotty Sandlin, who coaches Minnesota Duluth, he's a Dakota guy too.
Oh, there we go. That's right. I remember Scotty.
So it's perfect for the show.
Yeah, I did.
No, I don't think those are crazy picks. And Michigan State never gets old. Even when the teams were kind of struggling, I used to go watch them play, and those are always.
It's like BCBU.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. It's like Northeastern BU. It's like Northeastern BC. It's BCBU. It's it's Clarkson St. Lawrence. It's Cornell Colgate. It's all these great border wars or big
in-state
rivalry in-state games. It really matters, and so that never gets old. If you have a ticket to go to Munn or to Yost, Munn's at Michigan State, Yost is at Michigan. You get a chance to go to either one of those buildings, you go. They're both beautiful buildings, really nice.
Yeah. Well, Pierre, it's only geez, what, December 26th, we're going to be talking World Juniors. So we'll start to talk about that a little more as we.
I think we need to. Yeah, I think we need to do that.
Yep.
One of the things I'd like to do, Jimmy, and this is for our viewers out there, I'd like to know why Canada's chosen to go away from the try and true tested formula that they had, which is to have an evaluation camp and basically a tryout camp in December before the World Junior starts. They've just picked their team. They didn't do any of that this year. And it cannot have anything to do with budgets. I'm just telling you, it cannot. So I don't know why they chose to do that. And I'd be really curious as to why, because they could still have, look at Celebrini could still play in this, Connor Bedard could still, I mean, there are a lot of guys that could still play in this event for Team Canada. Fantilli could still play. I mean, there are a lot of guys that could still play in this thing.
It is interesting, and there's no reason given. That's interesting. Well, we'll find out, I hope. But yeah, we'll start talking World Junior soon. I know some of our
How about if Matthew Schaefer could? How about if Matthew Schaefer played World Junior and then the Olympics in the same year?
Would the Islanders allow that?
No.
That would be something.
Could you imagine? Like, he could do that.
He could do it too.
He could do it for 2 more years.
Yeah.
In World Junior.
Yeah. By the way, too, we got to try and get him on, or somebody from the Islanders on soon on the eye test here.
Well, I think we should get Matthew Darsh. I think Matthew Darsh should come on.
The way that kid has embedded himself in that community, and people don't the Islanders have a pretty strong, passionate fan base. People don't realize that.
They do.
He has embraced it and really, become the face of that franchise at 19. It's crazy.
Now remember, we talked about this a lot.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of young players living with families, and people sometimes get mad when I say they need babysitters. And I think you told me once, people are mad at you because you say the player needs a babysitter. That's not what I mean. It's a figure of speech.
Right.
So Matt Martin, the legendary player for the New York Islanders and the Toronto Maple Leafs, Matt Martin, and he was also, just so we want to be clear here, in Sarnia when he played with Steven Stamkos, he was his bodyguard. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Matt Martin has him living at their house. Matthew Schaefer is like a part of their family.
Oh, yeah. The pictures you see with the kids and everything.
This is what more teams need to do. I give Matthew Darsh, I give Matthew Schaefer, I give Matt Martin, who's an amazingly good person, Sydney, his wife, awesome person. Matt Martin's father-in-law is Boomer Esiason, the MVP of the National Football League. These are really good people to have this kid around.
Yeah, it's great.
And so if you get mad at me because I call it quote unquote babysitting, it's not what I mean.
It's more mentorship. It's more
what it is. It's mentorship. It's a place to go home and eat properly and learn about life in the NHL and maybe do some continuing education. He's still 18 years old. I mean, there's a lot there, and this guy's special.
I always say Pierre too, and I know you've referenced it too, is I'll never forget when, I started covering the Bruins and they put Patrice Bergeron with Marty Lapointe.
Yeah.
Patrice Bergeron doesn't become the person and player he is without that. And that's not a knock on Patrice, but he'll tell you the same thing. He says it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. So.
Sidney Crosby lived in Mario Lemieux's house.
Yeah.
He did. There's a reason why. Sergei Gonchar and his family took care of Evgeny Malkin.
Yep.
This is the reality of why this stuff works.
Adapt to the culture and acclimate.
Jaromir Jagr's family his mother more than his dad, but his mother was there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, I can tell you.
Yep.
And he was never, outside of driving his car too fast, he was never a problem. That was the only issue we had with him. Oh my gosh. Oh
yeah, that's another guy I want to get on the eye test sometime.
If he's over for Mario's camp this year is March 22nd to the 26th. Yeah. I'm wondering if you shouldn't come to that.
I know, but one thing I was going to say, Pierre, is that going to be head to head with some of the conference?
No, it's right after. So the
conference,
the 21st or all the conference would be over the 21st.
Right. Okay.
So from the 22nd to the 26th, I think, we got to find a way to maybe get that sponsored for you to come. I'm working at it, but
we'll work on it.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I'm gonna actually talk to Mario about that. That might be a good.
Our good friend Mark Erkey too. I haven't seen
Or
Rex.
we could, you can hang with Rex.
Yep, can't wait. That sounds like
that'd be good.
Pierre, quickly before we go, what's some of the biggest games you're watching pro-wise this weekend?
Toronto, Montreal is going to be huge. Now, just again, we're taping this on a Thursday morning.
So things could change.
So Toronto is at Carolina on Thursday night.
Right.
That's
right.
So I'm telling you right now, if Toronto wins that game, they change all the bad stuff that's been going on.
Yep.
It changes everything. And
and
Montreal, as much as they built up some credibility last night against Winnipeg, that's going to be a tough game because Toronto's going to be feeling it. And I know they're coming off a road trip and everything else, but they got no wiggle room now. Yeah. I'm worried about Jimmy. I'm going to be honest. I'm really worried about Florida. And it's not because they're a bad team. It's the injury situation, Jimmy. It's just they're worn right to the bottom of the tread right now. They really are. You can see it. They're working their butts off. Everybody, the coaches, the players. This is not a knock on their organization. This is a reality going to the final 3 years in a row and winning twice.
Yep. Hey, we saw it happen to Tampa. It eventually catches up to you. Yep. And then you got to reboot and go back at it. Pierre, I want to credit too, as we said, we're recording this on Thursday. So Wednesday night, heading into their game against Anaheim, I had said on the eye test, this is a bigger game than people think for Utah going in there.
They went in there and steamrolled.
And oh my God, did they answer the bell? Credit to them. Good for the Utah Mammoth. That was a gut check win for them there in Anaheim. They really answered the bell. So for now, they keep going.
They steamrolled. I'll tell you, how about Washington?
That was something, huh?
Washington's not going away, folks.
No, they're not. And
they're getting better. They're not getting worse. They're getting better.
Yeah. And heading into that game, they were 0-3 on back-to-backs on the tail end.
They're trend, and I think we talked about late last week that Washington, careful, here they come. They're coming. And Ryan Leonard, your friend, Ryan Leonard, 4 points last night.
The other thing too, Pierre always likes to point this out too. Some people don't know in terms of travel when you go from, you're doing the old.
They did LA, so they were LA into. So you can fly at LA. That's not a problem.
Right.
You can't land in Frisco. You got to land in Oakland because you can't land in San Jose. So the airport's closed down. So I'm going to say they were probably on the plane by 12:15, 45-minute run, 1 o'clock. Another hour down. They're probably in bed by 3 o'clock last night.
And they get up and they put a whooping on the upstart. That's an impressive win.
That's one of the most dirty little secrets in the league.
Right.
To get into San Jose if you got a game in Southern California, it's unbelievably hard.
If I didn't, you tipped me off on that, and that's why I went with Anaheim with San Jose last night against them because I'm knowing what they had to go through to get there, and I'm like, there's no way they're going to get this game, and then boom. Yeah. They exploded.
Well, Leonard's peaking. Wilson, how about Tommy Wilson? Tommy.
Yeah. There's no way he can make that team.
They can't keep him off Team Canada. Ovi's ripping it up now, which is great. If you're a fan of the Capitals, it's great. But no, and the coach is good. Carver is good. They got a good staff there. Kirk Muller's there. They got a good staff. They fixed some stuff up, obviously, after the Mitch Love stuff. They got a good thing going on. They're good.
And also one to mention before we go to the Dallas Stars, good win by them after what happened the night before and the news.
You called that. Hey, you called that.
Thank you.
Take a little pat on the back there, big boy. You did. You called. Hey, and they did that without, obviously Tyler. No Matthew Shane, no Tyler, no Bishop.
Yep.
Those are three regular guys out of the lineup.
Dallas and Washington are two teams I'm starting to really watch to emerge from the rest, especially Washington, who's in the East in that mess that is the Eastern Conference. We'll see what teams kind of start to surface up to the top.
Wait till Tampa gets a lot of their guys back.
Yeah. Speaking of, so this morning, before we record this, what did you think of the Ryan McDonough extension? A lot of people saying, oh, he's going to be 39. He's 39. Like, what do you think of that? Is he too old for that extension?
No.
I don't think so either. I'm not questioning it at all.
People need to understand we're about to have expansion in the NHL.
Yep.
They're underselling it. But you have to set your roster up. You can't just be short-sighted. You got to look past.
Yep.
So you're going to need players that have actually got experience. And you got to have guys that have character and guys that have leadership and guys that know what it takes to win and guys that can mentor younger players. And guys like Ryan are very valuable.
Oh, yeah.
They're very valuable. Again, I know they asked the question, but how come nobody's digging deep on expansion?
Yeah.
It's a huge story.
It is.
A guy in Carolina is selling his team for $2 billion.
Yeah. And
so he can buy an NBA team for $4 billion.
Must be nice. Anyhow. All right, Pierre. Listen, my friend, you have a great weekend. Looking forward to another great week next week here in the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network. Thank you to Shane, as always, for working the boards. And again, thanks to him for the great work he did while we were over in Belfast. To everyone out there, enjoy the hockey this weekend, and we'll see you back on the Eye Test on Monday.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.